Looks like we have an opportunity here. I was gone for a bit, and we got down to the 86s, I see. The low of 1.8 was 85, so we got down to 86, 1 point above the lows. Okay, well, we missed a trade. Here we see once they brought it below the market, the intraday low at 87, the 86s here offered an opportunity to see 12 to 1,000 cross there. That would have been the best darn trade of the day. It could have got in at the high 86s, low 87s, pulled the point out at the 88 and change, and boy, I have a target of 5 points or even more from 88 all the way up to maybe 97 or beyond. If we get some short covering and people sense the low is in, this could be a significant rally. We'll keep the recording going, even though we don't actually have a position, but we'll talk through. We already know that we would have had one contract filled down here at the 86, 87s, right at the cross trade here. We could have got in here quickly. If not, if you missed that, then you could have got in at the 88s, absolutely. So it would have been out anywhere between the 88s and 89s for the first contract, and then the second contract you can let ride, and there's a good chance there's going to be some really good short covering into the close here. So we're going to keep track of this trade. Well, on this trade that we actually missed, if you would have had your first exit at 90.50, 1 1/4 ticks higher than your entry at 89 1/4, you could have pulled that first 1.25 out by now. And also, it ticked up to 95, but didn't get up to 95.5. So to get that additional 6 1/4 points, 5 points above the 90.50 exit, you would have needed 95.50. So we don't have that yet, but we're going to watch the market here. Something just hit me that we had talked about earlier. There in fact may not be any short covering rally. I was watching the profile and realized during the E, the G, the H, the I, the J, just about every period we had a rotation from the lows to the highs of the consolidation down here in the 90s. If it was long liquidation, it was selling just to liquidate. There would have had to been some sort of initiative selling to have those shorts cover. So we could have a little bit of a short covering rally for those that initiated a few shorts in the consolidation, but certainly not anything like we saw a few days ago, where the entire morning session was initiative selling and the entire afternoon session was short covering. So that's interesting. I would assume, based on that observation now, that we would probably close somewhere around the high volume node down here, which I think the point of control is 1393. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just continue to rotate here for the last 45 minutes and close somewhere in the mid-90s. Okay, I see we filled our exit target at 95.50. That was an additional 6.25 points if you had taken the trade. So that was a nice opportunity. That was actually the swiftest, cleanest, low-risk trade right there, buying the low. They kept it a point above the 8th low, and they kept it. They took out the stops of the intraday K period, and we had some people taking profits into the close here. Now, if we can initiate trade, they've been hitting the ask. We can see it here. We can see it in this column. We can see it in this column. We're right at that area, that 96 to 98 area, where there was volume that was acted as resistance in the 1330 period, the H period. So if we can get past this with volume, and we're starting to accumulate some volume up here, hitting the ask, we might actually be able to rally into the B period area. The C period high is 1399, so we're just a shy bit under that. That might have been an area up here intuitively that you could have some passive orders, although there's only half an hour left to the session. So if we do rocket through that area, you wouldn't have an opportunity possibly to rotate back down if you're on the wrong side of the market. of course, the right trade, if you didn't want to take your additional 5 points profit at 95.50, was to keep a little bit of an open exit strategy, maybe the close of the day. Although the risk at the close of the day is coming back to the point of control, which is down at 93. So we'll sit and watch. Well, if you look at the 25 scale market profile chart, you'll see the M period rallied a little bit over the H period by about a point, right above that area we were talking about that's had resistance all day in the 96 to 97 area. Clicked up to 98, and then the sellers hit the bid. Check out the bid-ask chart later on with the observations. So observation, if in fact the most of the day was long liquidation, prevented a short covering rally into the close, was correct. The M period high was it. A little bit of short covering for people that were short in the consolidation, but then the sellers came back and hit the bid, and now we're approaching the lows of the day with 15 minutes left in the session. There is a negative 52,000 contract bias. This is an area that is of support, the 86 area. So if we close below value today, which we are currently below value by about 4 points, 3 points, and we close on the low of the day, we could have some challenges over the next few days if in fact we have initiative selling into the close. We see a lot of cross trade here. Look at this 9,000, 7,600. This is passive buying on a limit down here in support. This is right where the support area in the previous period, the L period, there was a block of trade, 11,000, 14,000, 14,000, 16,000, 13,000, 12,000, 10,000, 8,000, 10,000 from the price range of 1386 to 1388. So we have a lot of support in this 86 to 87 area. We'll see if in fact this 9,000, 7,600 and this 3,200 and 5,300 and 1,600 and 2,300 and 1,100 are actually passive orders or initiative orders. Right now we're testing the lows of the day. We hit the low and we tested it by half a point. We're down at 85.50. The previous low was 86. So here we go. If they're running any stops, they're running them here. Let's see if there's any cross trade. There's 15 minutes left in the session. So I would actually be hesitant to take a long position down here, even though it looks like there's some support down here. Through the Globex, if you wanted to take a long position, you might be able to take a Globex position down here in the 85s, carry it over, and you should be okay since there's so much support during the day session down there at 86. So we'll see if in fact we get any breach of this 85, 86 area, or if in fact we close down here, and then we'll observe what the Globex does. We see a bounce now off of the 85 area. See big trade, 9 to 7, 3 to 5, 16, 24, 59 to 37, 57 to 77, and then we see the pullback column positive, and we see this column positive by about 2,800 contracts. So it seems that there was some trade here on a limit, passive, and if now any interest initiates the trade at the offer, we should see rotation back toward the point of control. Point of control is up at 93, so let's see where this closing range in the end period over the next 15 minutes ends up. Well, we see that significant cross trade here in the 1600 period, the M to beginning of end period. Excuse me, the end period rallied back toward the point of control, which is up at 93. Didn't make it, but there was some buying into the close. Here at this period we had a negative 54,000 delta, and at the close we had a negative 43,600 delta. So that is a negative close, a little bit of buying into the close, but considering that we were in a consolidation for several days, we'll have to keep our eye very closely on this 85 area. We'll see what Globex does, and we'll see what the open is tomorrow.